Hey, this is Jeff with Expedition Essentials, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install the Jeep JL JT powered accessory mount from Expedition Essentials.
First thing we're going to do when we're installing this mount is pull off this center control section on your Jeep dash. And in order to do that, you're going to use the plastic pry tool, but you're going to want to tape off this area around this side to keep from scratching the plastic. Pull it out of the way, no need to disconnect anything, you can leave everything hanging. Just like that. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove these two screws here using either a Phillips screwdriver or a 7mm socket. And then we're going to remove our radio trim. Set that aside. And remove these two top screws for the upper two radio hold down. As you can see here, I went ahead and unplugged this control panel just to get it out of the way. Next thing we're going to do is remove this panel so we can access the back of our cigarette lighter to tap into for running the wires for our USB outlet. Take this center screw out. Just pull it. And there we go. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out these two lower radio screws just so we can access running the wire. Pull the radio down and carefully let it hang. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole, and this is the only hole you have to drill for this mount in the bottom of your dash pocket in the center for your wire to pass through, and what we're going to use is a 1/4 inch drill bit. That's all it's required to feed that wire through. We've already done ours, and it doesn't really matter where you drill a hole, just somewhere in the middle. We did ours off center a little bit, and we're going to drill it right here, and that's just to pass your wire through. We've already run our wire in this on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what to do with your harness. So it'll have connectors on one end which go to your USB outlet, and that'll be up here. The other end you're just going to take and feed through that hole and run it behind the plastic where your radio and control panel mounts, and you're going to want to come down behind that plastic down to here where you can see ours is. If you zoom in here, ours is right here, and it's going to come out where your cigarette lighter, the back of your cigarette lighter normally would live. You can see here we've already run our harness behind and hooked it up to our cigarette lighter, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it anyway. The black wire on the back of the connector is the one for ground, which goes to our harness, which connects to the USB outlet. The pink and yellow is the positive, which connects to our red wire, which goes to the back of the USB outlet. And what we're going to do with these posi taps, is what we call them, are really easy to use. So the black end, you're going to unscrew it all the way, and on your pink and yellow wire, we're going to do the red this time, you're going to put the ears over that wire, and you're going to take this end, which has a needle, and screw it down hand tight, and it will in turn puncture the wire, creating your connection. The other end of the wire, which will come from our harness, you're just going to loosen the thumb screw and take the other end of our harness, which you will need to strip back about a 1/2 inch of wire, and push it into this and then tighten the screw. That's going to create your connection for tapping into your cigarette lighter. And it'll look like just like that when you're done. Alright, after you've got the wires tapped, you can go ahead and put your control panel back in. Before we go together all the way, what we're going to want to do is test our USB outlets to make sure that our connection was good. And what you're going to do is connect these guys loosely, because once you push those in, they don't like to go in or pull back out. And turn your ignition on. We're gonna use a USB tester for this, but you can use your phone. It'll achieve the same results. And you're gonna want to test both of them. After that's done, we can continue putting things back together. So before we put the center panel on, we're going to install our inner support bracket for the radio, and that uses the top two screws for your radio, using the original screws and these brackets here. And install your bottom two screws. Now we'll install our center control panel. Now that we've got our center panel installed, our inner support bracket, we're going to go ahead and permanently push in these spade connectors for your harness. And remove the two screws that are in your dash pocket. And install our inner support, or center support. And put the original two screws back in. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our main body, or top plate of our mount, and install it onto the pre-installed components, your inner support bracket and your radial support bracket. And that uses 6 M5 screws up here at the top. Just thread them in loosely until you get everything started by hand. And then we have 4 8/32 screws that are countersunk that go right here, and these will be underneath your 13-inch Ram Tough Track when it is installed. Once you have all those threaded in, you can go ahead and tighten everything up. Now the final step is going to be to install your 13-inch Ram Tough Track, and that goes right here on these pre-threaded locations, and they are 8/32 panhand screws. Alright, so that's it. Pretty easy install. Just things to note: the 13-inch track takes track balls, or we have track adapter plates that allows you to use amps pattern balls on the track as well as your mount. There are 6 pre-threaded locations here for amps patterns balls. These are threaded M5, as well as 2 additional up top. And that's pretty much it. You guys are ready to rock, and thanks for watching.